If I say don't think of a pink elephant, what are you thinking of? A pink elephant, right? So now you're experiencing what is going on in your child's brain every single day. So what is positive parenting? Positive parenting is not permissive parenting. It is not a parenting style or sunshine and rainbows, and it is most definitely not no consequences. It's not no consequences. Positive parenting is a tool. A tool just like using a calm voice when your child is having a meltdown, or a ladder to get the leaves out of the gutter, or water to quench your thirst, or just, a hammer to get a nail in something. Positive parenting is a tool where we state the positive, walk, instead of the negative, don't run. You tracking with me? Does this make sense? Okay, so another example could be like, instead of don't yell, we're gonna say quiet voice. Use your quiet voice. Or instead of don't hit, we're gonna use gentle hands. Or don't throw that, put it on the table. Right? So we're stating the positive action. So why does this work? Let's get into the brain science just a little bit. So number one, we've got to think about saliency here. And the brain processes the most salient or the most important term. So in this case, when we're saying don't run, the important word is the action word, which is run, right? Another thing is that timing matters to the brain. The last word in is the fastest that it's going to recall. So if it's don't yell, just heard yell. The other thing that we were thinking about is the processing and the development of the brain. And those kind of go hand in hand, right? So depending on the age of your child, they may not have actually developed the receptive language skills required to understand negation. That usually comes somewhere between the ages of 2 and 4, and every kid develops at a slightly different time, right? So if we do have that actual development of the receptive language skill of the negation, don't, or can't, or won't, or these negative terms, then they've got to be able to process, okay, so I've heard don't run. So what is the opposite of run? Crawl, walk, skip, hop, frog jump, leap, twirl, cartwheel, tap dance? Like it could be anything. It could be absolutely anything. So then we're requiring that child in that quick moment to sort through, like that brain has to catalog, okay, all of these things are the opposite of walk or opposite of run. So then it has to make the choice. It has to infer, well, they probably want me to do this, right? But again, if you're saying don't run, but you happen to be in dance class, you might mean leap, or you might mean jeté, or you might mean something else. So that's really asking the brain to do a lot. This is really about language processing. It is not about disobedience or anything like that. Like your child is not ignoring you. It's just the brain literally can't process and do the mental gymnastics for what it's supposed to do. So instead, we use the positives. We state what we want them to do. Positive parenting, a tool. Aha! Okay, but what if, you're like, Abby, yeah, but what if we're dealing with like a safety concern here? So in that case, it's actually even more important, right? Using a single term is going to be far better than don't run. That's 2 terms, right? So in that case, if we're saying like, don't touch the stove, and don't is kind of do not, right? That's way too much processing that a young developing brain is going to have to go through. Remember, the brain is not fully formed until like the mid-20s. Like, y'all, we got a long time for this. So keep using it on your teenagers. Keep using it on your 20-somethings, right? Maybe use it on yourself or your partner. Or on your sibling. I don't know. Anyways, so what we want to say instead, like you might, depending on your child, stop, freeze, pause, T, this is a big one, right? Or be even more specific. If we're talking about the stove, you don't want your kid to get burnt, so say hot. And if they don't know what that means, It's okay to allow them to get close. You're a parent, you're gonna be watching them, you're gonna make sure that they're safe. You can say, feel hot. We're not touching their hand on the stove, for goodness sakes, but right? Like, let them get close enough and they'll pull back. That's the body. Like, that's what the sympathetic nervous system is for, y'all, keeping us safe, right? If you're outside, you can say car. My kid knows car. Like, if we tell him to stop, his impulse control is not super strong. We are still working on that. And so when we say stop, like, he's told to stop a bazillion times a day. It's far better for us to say car when it comes to a safety concern. He quickly goes to the curb because we're not saying car in our kitchen, right? Like, so where you are, that context matters. Sorry, I get really, really fired up about this. I really like it. Like, I'm ready to jump. Okay. So let me just tie this back to the bigger picture here. Positive parenting is a tool. And the more tools that we can have as parents, the more confident we are when we are parenting, right? And when we have a tool that we can use that works, then it also takes away the guilt and the shame, the bad parenting. It takes away the need for the repair. With that said, we are going to mess up. We are gonna get it wrong, because even though I'm giving you this information, and maybe you already have like some idea of it behind it, but it still requires a lot of brain power from you to use in that moment. And if your sympathetic nervous system is on high alert because you see a car and you're worried that your child is gonna get hit, you're probably gonna be like, ah, right? But with practice, you're gonna be able to use this. And that's what I want for you, right? We are tired. One more tool is one more thing that we have to think about, and I get it, right? I get it. I'm putting more on your plate, and you are already tired. We are tired as parents, and as working parents, we are trying to like code switch and compartmentalize and navigate all these different situations, and it's a lot. And you can do it. It's going to take practice, but it feels amazing when you have these tools, because you can see it with your kid, that with the tools, with the confidence, that we feel good, and then we are maintaining the really great relationship with our child. And remember, as we front load the work now, I'm imagining there's a child on my floor right now. There is no child, there's just the floor. Anyway, as we are working with our child and maintaining this great relationship, we're also putting in the work now to have a great relationship for the future with our adult child, right? We're doing the hard work now with these developing brains so that one day we're gonna have a really awesome relationship with this really, really cool adult human who is a productive member of society and who still wants to spend time with us because we've treated them with respect. Okay, I'm going off on a whole nother tangent. What I want you to do is subscribe so that you can get more tools and we can work together on how you can become the most confident, awesome parent that I know you already are. And let me know in the comments down below, what are you gonna switch to the positive this week? All right, see you next time. Bye.